Hey, totally obsessed tennis players out there. I've got another video that's going to help you win a lot more doubles matches. And today we're going to cover the top 10 doubles plays for club players. Trust me, you start running these plays, it's going to be like taking candy from a baby. All right, so let's get right into it. What's play number one? Play number one, the inside in squeeze play is what we're going to do. So we're going to do where you is the Y. So that's you returning. Your partner's here. Your opponents are here serving and at the net. Now, something that is kind of like a mirage, you don't want to do it as much. I'm not saying never do it, and you can certainly hit a lot of great shots. But when do we mostly like to go up the line on a return? It's when we see this nice, juicy ball come out here, and we're like, we're going to rip it up the line for a winner. And what ends up happening a lot of times is that you end up missing because you're going over a lot of tough things going on here. Think about this. When you're going on the outside, now you're going over the absolute highest possible part of the net. So that makes a lot of unforced errors in the net. And if you are a tad late, where's the ball going? It's going wide, okay? So that's why I don't recommend that most of the time when you want to pull the trigger down the line that you actually go with the serve that's going to the outside. Do it sometimes, but don't make it your primary go-to plan when you want to rip it at the net person. The pros, and the Bryan brothers actually do this a lot, they go inside in. Okay, so let's just erase these little drawings here. And so what is inside in? Now the ball's coming here. This is a great time to rip it at the net person. And the Bryan brothers do this a lot as well. Why? Because now the net's a little lower, and it's kind of like, even though you're going down the line, because this is considered cross court, it's almost like you're hitting the ball cross court. So you have more court to work with. If you're a little late, where's it going? It's going to the net person, so they're still going to have to volley it. If you're really late, it's going over here. If you're nice on time and early, you can actually hit the beautiful winner in the alley. But we don't need to hit it in the alley to make this work. That's why we call it the squeeze play, because what our partner is going to do is when you rip it at the net person, and you probably want to have conversations in between points to let them know, like, hey, if I get it to the inside and I get a good look, be ready. I might rip it at the net person, especially if they've got weaker volleys. If they're afraid up there, this is a good time to pull this play. Then what they're going to do is they're going to squeeze the middle. This is going to be very hard. I know you're worried that, well, they're just going to volley over there, aren't they? Well, no, you're ripping the ball. They're going to be late. They're reacting. So it's going to be tough for them to even get that spot with the angles, especially if your partner really closes strong here on the middle, is not afraid to really get in their face, even to the other side, even a little bit on your side of the box. Now, a lot of times this ball is going to pop up, and then your partner can actually finish the job at them, still go short to short. It's going to be very tough for them to react twice in a row like that, and you're going to win that point. So that's play number one. We really start out with a bang. B2, was that pretty good? He's already asleep. I guess it's not that interesting. All right, but if you want to win more matches, you want to watch play number two. Play number two is the Roy Emerson Aussie formation. Now, why do I call it the Roy Emerson Aussie formation? If you don't know who he is, do a Google search. The dude has 28 Grand Slam titles. He is literally a living legend. And I got to play in a Legends fantasy camp, and I was playing for my team. Roy Emerson was my coach. Another one of our coaches was Rod Laver. It was a really cool experience. So anyway, what was happening, and let me just erase everything here. So what was happening, me and my partner were actually playing pretty well. It was one of the higher level matches at the camp, and we were playing some pretty good players, but I felt that we were playing well, and we were getting tattooed. We were getting tattooed because especially this guy right here, our opponent, and then that's his partner, and let's just say this is me. I'll draw an M, okay? I'm usually used to holding serve pretty easy as a lefty when I go out wide. This dude loved both of our out wide serves. No matter how good we served, and we just kept thinking, well, we got to serve better. This guy, I'd be on my way to the net because I like to serve and volley, and he'd be ripping at my feet. He'd be hitting winners by us. He was just in the zone. And then Roy Emerson said to us, hey, this guy is a great puller of the ball, meaning that he really likes this ball to come in, and he likes to pull it cross court. So he says, why don't you guys run Aussie? I probably would have never thought to do this in the match. It's just a very simple adjustment, but it made all the difference in the world. I just thought this guy was just an amazing returner. No matter where you put it to him, he's going to kill you, right? So one of the things that I thought is, until we tried, you're not going to argue with a legend. I thought, well, if I bring my partner over here, let me just get my drawing tool. If I bring my partner over here, and this guy's so good at returning, isn't he just going to crush us down the line? Now we're just giving him a much bigger target. Actually, the opposite happened. We gave this experiment. This guy was not good at bringing it down the line. He was great at pulling the ball. Roy just had an instinct. I don't know. Let's see if this guy can actually hit down the line. What ended up happening is he ended up missing a lot long, a lot into the net, right? Remember how I said if you go out wide, now you're going over the higher part of the net. And he also popped a lot of volleys up. So as I served and volleyed this way, then I was able to put a lot of volleys away. Plus, sometimes my partner moved here too. So it was a little bit of the guy doesn't exactly know where to return. We made him think more. So it's a great play. And the Aussie formation, by the way, if you are over 40 years old and have any back issues, the Aussie formation is a lot easier to run than the I formation. Don't get the two confused. So let me just erase all this. So what is the I formation? Again, here I am serving. My partner would be down here in a down position that has to get up. That's hard to do, right? A lot of young coaches teach you, hey, get down there, go I formation. You're like, but I can't get up. Help, I can't get up. But if you're over here, all you got to do, you're just standing upright, and now it's kind of the same thing, and you're right there in the position. If they go at you, you're staying up. It's a lot easier to react. I recommend the Aussie formation way over the I formation, and there is play number 2. All right, play number 3, I call it 2 back power of 3. And you want to run this when you are losing, especially. If you find that you're down to match, one of the things that you want to do is make your opponents work to the finish line. You just don't want to hand things over. And so lots of times I notice that doubles teams get down in a match because they're playing. I'll just put you right here. You're returning, and your partner's here, and then we've got the server over there and the net person. And what ends up happening lots of times is they're just a little better at finding the short target, and they keep picking on this player. Maybe you or your partner, you're missing some volleys too, and these points are ending very quickly, and then all of a sudden you notice you're down 4-2, 5-2. Start to really think about this. I would say if you get down like 3-0, 4-2, 5-2, start to think about this 2 back power of 3. So what I tell my players to do is to play both back, and then no matter what it takes, even if you've got to hit the ball over the net with your nose, you're going to make them play 3 balls no matter what. If you can make them play 3 balls, no matter how you do it, even if you lose the point, in your mind, you won the point. And you're just like, to win this match, they're going to have to play at least 3 balls every time. If you can make them play 3 balls, what's happening? You're at least extending the rally to 6 balls, right? So if you're making them play 3, if you're making 3 shots, then they got to make 3. That's a 6-ball rally. Most points end before 4 balls. So if you and your partner could just commit to trying to make 3 balls no matter what. Now, you're not always going to get there. Sometimes you'll miss a return. Sometimes you'll miss a ground stroke. But the more you just focus on that very simple thing, a lot of times you do start making shots, and you're not giving them the target here at the net to put the ball away. So now they've got to hit through you, which sometimes they start to press and they start to miss, and you can get your confidence back. You get in a rhythm, you get right back in that match. So remember that, especially when you're down. Okay, play number 3 is the GG 1-2-3 poaching formula. So I got this from Gigi Fernandez, 17-time Grand Slam title winner. And she actually uses this for club players. This is a club player specific play that she would run when she was coaching club players. So we're going to have, let's see, your opponents are now returning. Let's say you're here at the net and your partner is serving, and you're going to tell your partner if you're going to go on ball number 1, ball number 2, or ball number 3. So this especially helps people who want to poach, who aren't confident poaching, and it also is different than what we're mostly thinking. We're mostly thinking the planned poach is only for that first ball, and then everything just kind of settles and you become very predictable. But what if you went on ball number 2 or ball number 3? Now your opponents start to go, what's going on? I've never seen anybody do that I'm playing against. And here's how it goes. If you say, I'm going to go on ball number 2, that's pretty easy, right? Ball number 1, we get that. The partner serves, you go across. Let's say it's ball number 2. So there's a return back in play. Now my partner goes to hit again. I'm going to go across and pretty much get to that net strap. We're going to cross. And my partner, they know that I'm going on ball number 2. So they're automatically going to move over here. And it doesn't matter if they leave a little early, right? I mean, if you leave at a perfect time, then you can really confuse them. But what if either of you leave early? It doesn't matter because you both now still have the court covered and they're still kind of thinking, this is weird. What's going on? When people are distracted at the last minute when they're going to hit the ball, that's when they tend to make a lot of mistakes. All right, so that's play number 4. All right, so we've gone through 4 plays. If you're still watching this video, and if you want to make B2 happy and get more B2 treats, give this video a like. This is my buddy B2. He loves it when you like the video. Okay, we're going to go to the halfway point. I call this the pickle stack serve. All right, now, this one thing, if you are a tennis player, it should make you angry because actually pickleball stole this from us. You don't see this play a lot in club tennis, but I've actually heard this play, over a decade ago from a USPTA coach. But they use it a lot more and a lot more effective than we do. So what would that be? And this is especially good righty-lefty combinations. This is really good for. And also if you or your partner is really strong on one side of the baseline and weaker on the other, and maybe you're not so comfortable at the net, or you want to give the opponents a different look rather than the traditional one-up back position. Let's say my partner here is serving, and then I'm going to stand on this side of them. It's probably even better. Let's do that again because that's kind of tough for them. Then they'd have to run. It's different than a pickleball. So let's say my partner is serving, and then I'm going to stand right there. All right, and our opponents are here, and they're kind of like, what's going on? So why would we do this? Well, then what could happen is we could then play to where my partner, let's say they just love this side of the court more. They love to hit ground strokes much better on that side. And I really love hitting ground strokes on this side. Now we can always be playing in a position of strength. We can always line up to hit our favorite shots. Does that make sense? So that's why you would run that pickle stack. Okay, so I call that the pickle stack serve because they do it in pickleball a lot. All right, play number 6, and we're going to run through 3. These are my 3 favorite plays. So you definitely don't want to leave now because right here are my 3 favorite return plays. This is where you can really dominate a doubles court and take the candy from a baby in these next 3 plays. So we're going to get into second serve return strategy. So the first one I call it the SS chip and charge short. So again, our opponents are here. They're serving. I'm going to return, or you're going to return. Let's just say you. And then your partner's here. What you're going to do is rather than this bloopy second serve, we covered this on the last video. If you didn't see the last video, I will put a link right now so you can go back and watch it because we went through top 5 doubles mistakes. And this is one of the things that I recommend that you do instead of coming up here and clobbering and missing second serve returns, which is one of the biggest mistakes, is missing way too many second serve returns. We still want to stay on offense, but we want to make a lot. So we're going to chip and charge. So we're going to hit it short here. This does not mean you have to hit a little drop shot. Sometimes you can hit a little drop shot, but this is actually kind of a firm chip that we want to land in the service box and continue to go out towards the alley. This moves this person off the court. Now your partner can shade towards the ball. You can shade towards the ball, and then this is wide open for a winner. If this partner does a good job and goes, oh, my partner's in trouble, they're way out here, I'm going to go over here and really protect and cover, then this opens up for the next volley. But most of the time, that's not going to happen at club tennis. They're just going to stand there. They're going to leave this part of the court exposed. You can win that. All these are designed to win points in 2 shots, okay? Okay, play number 7. And you want to be playing a little bit of cat and mouse. You want to hit this little short shot. So here you are. Here's your partner. There's the server. There's the serving partner. You want to hit the short return, and you want to notice when they start reacting well to it. Maybe they get there and they still miss, but like they took a good rip, or you just notice they got a good break to the ball, or maybe they hit an awesome shot. Then you're like, okay, they're on to this little dink return. What you're going to do then next is you're going to go, okay, next time I'm going to give them the same look so they can't tell. They think I'm going short again, and then I'm going to chip and charge deep somewhere at their feet. And lots of times they're going to cheat in because you've already set them up with this little short return that you're going to hit their feet. There's a good chance they're going to pop this ball up. There's a good chance they're just going to miss it. You ever have that where it comes at you and just kind of like you can't react and you drive it right in the net because it's right at your feet? That's going to happen. But sometimes they're also going to pop it up, right? They're going to do like a little scoop up. Now you and your partner can come in and crush an overhead away. Now, you have to be careful about overheads, and you have to get better at them. That's why in the next video, so make sure you're here for the next video, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to give you a master class on the overhead because recreational players, club players miss too many overheads. All right, your final play that you're going to run on this, and this is when you want to run this on important points, okay? This, again, you want to talk about just dominating the doubles match on the return. Really work on your second serve returns. If you can work on these 3 second serve returns, you're going to be in great shape. You go out there, you practice baskets of serves, that's awesome. But you practice these 3 returns, that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck in this entire video. So now, big point, what's going to happen, you're going to lob over this person. You don't even need to hit it near a line, just as long as it's past the service line. That's it. Why is this so important? Because now what happens is, first of all, this person's got to make a call. They're going to get it. Lots of times, the bigger the point is, the slower decision making because people don't want to mess up. So they're like, oh, yours, right? And then if they do that, sometimes this person's just standing there like, I thought you had that. And they're just looking at each other. So sometimes that will happen. Sometimes they call late. So what happens? Then this person's getting there late and they're not hitting a good shot even they get there. And what really happens, the best thing is, this person, ideally, if they call yours, they want to get all the way back to the baseline to play some defense. That rarely happens. What happens instead is they sometimes just move over here. They're sitting duck. That's like the dumbest play. Don't do that. If you're doing that, stop doing that. And then most of the time, they only get to about here, which, again, makes it really easy to go at their feet, which you're going to get a lot of lobs off the lobs. Another reason why you want to get better at your overhead. Remember, I got your back at the end of this video with an overhead master class. All right, so let me make sure I got this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my gosh, we're already up to play number 9? Are you kidding me? This is a fun video. This is a fun video. If you're still hanging in there, it will help the channel if you just like it. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Okay, so here we go. This is something we don't do enough. Trust me, I run a lot of doubles camps for adults. Y'all need to do much better at what I call a bunker mentality. Let's especially say we've got 2 back and they're playing offense. And so you're back, your partner's back, they're both up, you feed up a lob. And what happens is after that first overhead, especially if they just hit a decent overhead, you immediately try and smack your way out of it and you try and run forward. It's like you hit a lob. I don't know why you all do this, but you do this all the time. You'll hit a lob and then you just start running forward and then they hit an overhead right at your feet. Don't do that. Get in the bunker. Stay. I wish this was actually bigger. I'd like to give you, think about Rafa Nadal. Think about Medvedev, how they get back to the fence. Like, I want you back almost to the fence, especially if they have some decent power on their overheads. Obviously, if they don't have any power at all, you can cheat in a lot more, okay? But you have a team that can actually hit some power in their overheads. Stay back here and have the goal to get in the bunker and just lob. Like, love the lob. Because again, most players under 4-0 and below don't have amazing overheads. I would say only when you get to like a really solid 4-5 do you start to pay for those weak lobs. So just lob, lob, lob. Lob, make it a lob fest, and you'll be amazed at how many unforced errors come. And then it'll be obvious when they come in. So what you ultimately want to do on this is you want to move them back off the service line and then feed you a really weak ball. And now you can take an approach shot and attack. Now you and your partner can attack. That's how you get out of the bunker and attack. So play number 10, you are not going to like, all right? But if you want to win a lot more matches, you better start doing it. So let's say you got your opponent here and one opponent's here. Maybe they're going to move back, maybe they're not. And your partner's here, and then you get this lob about here. The technique I want you to use, probably 60 to maybe even 80% of the time, I call a bump and run. So instead of getting here and hitting overhead and missing it, I want you to actually get your hand in a weight or tray position and bump it. And you're either going to bump it back deep, and if you have good balance, you're going to run back into the net in the pole position to finish the point. Or if you're kind of stumbling back and hitting it with your weight backwards, you're just going to run back to the baseline. And depending on what you can do with the ball, ultimately you want to be able to find the person not at the net and hit it as deep as possible. But if you're like barely getting there and you hit it short, your partner should also run back to play some defense, because now you're on defense. The whole role of the point has changed, all right? But remember, you need to get a better overhead if you are going to win more doubles matches. That's why right up here somewhere, I've got a master class for you on the overhead. You better watch this video if you want to win more doubles matches.